Hey guys, it's Lex from Kels and Lex. So Kels isn't here for personal reasons, but we couldn't not do the Halloween special. So here I am as, I don't even know what, Cheetah, I think. And if you hear background noises, I'm so sorry. It's my fiance's dog. I'll show you. Come here. This is Marshall. So today's video is gonna be about telling you like scary stories that Kels and I lived through. So I talked to Kels yesterday and she told me a few stories that I'll try to remember to like make her a part of this video too, obviously. And let's get into it. So today's drink is Fanta with like the foam guy. Let's just crack this open. So let's get started. So I'm gonna start with some of my stories that I have on top of my head. When I was younger, I lived on this like dirt road. I've lived there my whole life. And there was an accident when I was really young, or even before I was born, that a guy got in a motorcycle accident in the like curve of the road. And when I was younger, I would always see this like shadow figure of this like tall guy, and I would go and I would walk around like where I was living, and I would see him, but then nobody else saw him. And then eventually I stopped seeing him. And a few weeks ago, Kels and our like mutual friend, we were driving around like a total different town, an hour away from where I grew up. And I saw it again. So I don't know what that was about, but that was a little scary. And another story, this is a story that Kelly told me that I remember talking to her last night. A person in her family passed away in their home, and they would do their coffee every morning at 5 a.m. And her grandfather were just sleeping. And then 5 a.m, she said that the lights were like flickering, and then the kettle started like making noise. So that's like, it's scary but not at the same time, because it's like her family member obviously, but it's like kind of still spooky. That's the next story from Kels. The next story is from both of us actually. So we lived in Northern Ontario. We're Canadian. I don't know if we ever mentioned that, but around our towns, they're finding body remains. So that's kind of like really scary. So we don't know if it's like a serial killer or just ironic that 2 people passed away and a bunch of people are going missing. So we're not sure what that's about, but like, might be a serial killer, we don't know, but it's really scary. Another story is from also both of us. We both lived through it. We went to the same school, but I'm not sure if Kelly full on knew about it or it was just stories or whatever, but it is worth telling scary stories. So it might not even be true, or it might be, we're not too sure. But we went to a very, very small school in a very small town, and the school was built in like 19 something. I don't remember exactly what year, but it was an older school. And a lot of people said that it was built on a graveyard. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's a story. So, but a lot of people said they would feel watched in the gym. And I also remember we would do like haunted houses, and I remember we stayed late after school, like the school was like closed, and we only had like 2 teachers with us, and it was dark. It was just creepy. I mean, we had like a little mini, like we called it the basement, but it wasn't really a basement. But we were going there for like stuff, and like the little, we called it its magasin, but it was just like random stuff that we wanted for like art or whatever. We would go in there and just walk through this really, really long hallway. And the hallway felt like it would never ending, especially in the dark, with just like the exit sign lighting up. So it's like just red. It's really creepy. And we were doing the haunted house in the other hallway next to the gym. And we just felt really creeped out. Like me and my cousin, it was like my fourth cousin, but just cousin. We really felt watched and like creeped out, but I'm not sure if it was just like little kids in the dark, like, oh, it's creepy, or if like the stories one of our friends were saying, which we don't know if it's true or not. But yeah, it was just like the school was giving weird vibes, and especially this, I lived this personally. When we were in grade 7, 8, we would be upstairs. Now we can't go upstairs anymore. But we would go upstairs, and there was like the class of 5 and 8 and 6 and 7. 5 and no, whoa. 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Like, and then there's this little tiny, like, in the, from outside it looks like a little triangle room, and it pretty much was. And there was just like random junk in there, and then the sink, because I have eczema, so every time we would like wash our hands after doing something, they would have like Purell or whatever, and I couldn't do that because it would like literally burn my hands. So I had to go in that little room and wash my hands, and that, I don't know, maybe it was just like because it was old or whatever, but like the classrooms and the hallways and the stairs was like normal temperature, but that one room was freezing cold, and you just felt watched. And you would like sometimes, I know this is like something a lot of people go through, but you just hear your name and you just didn't actually hear it. That room, that happened like every day. And I would go to wash my hands at least 4 times, because I don't know why we would wash our hands. It wasn't even near COVID, so I don't really understand that. I don't remember what we were doing. But yeah, that was really creepy. Another story is from also myself. It was around like 2016, so you guys probably know where I'm going with this. It was around like the killer clown times, and I am terrified of clowns. Terrified. I hate them. They're like my biggest fear other than heights. It's clowns. I can't stand them. But we were on like in recess, and our school had like the school and then the like pavement playing, kids used to play like soccer, whatever. And then we had the park. We had 2 parks. When we usually just had one when we were younger, but like 7 and 8 we had 2 parks for some reason. And then probably because the first one was like made out of metal and was really old. But anyways, we had a new park. And then we had this big field where we played like baseball and just random sports. We were playing tag, I believe, that day, and like rough tag. Like we would like beat each other up at some points. Our school is very redneck, for especially for a Catholic school. It was very redneck. But that's what we were doing. And I swear, I might have been just crazy and paranoid because we were talking about them, but I am sure I saw a red balloon in like the forest, because there was like the field, the road, and then the highway was like over there, but there was like trees. And in the tree, like a little forest, I would say, in the little forest, I saw something red, and it looked like a red balloon. And I freaked out. I hate clowns. I can't do it. Like, I hate them so much. So that creeped me out so much. And all my friends were like, oh my god, I saw it too. I don't know if they actually did, but like, I was like almost crying. I don't like clowns. I really don't like them. This story is from me again. Me and Kelly were talking last night and she said a few, but I only remember that one. But maybe after this I'll text her and then come back with more stories. Sorry, that's Marshall. Because I don't remember. But anyways, this story is it's creepy. So I used to date this guy. He lived in a small town an hour and a half from me around. And him and his friend, before we dated, he played with the Ouija board in another room. So it was his room, and then the bathroom, and then across that room is like his old room, but we were staying in this room. And that door was always closed, but this time it was open. And I didn't know they played Ouija board in that room, but I always like didn't like that room for some reason. And I swear I saw something. I don't know if it was just because my like bad vibes with that room or whatever, but I saw something in the corner of my eye. And sorry, that's my fiance's dog doing that. I'm gonna go get him. But yeah, that story it's just creepy to think about. Like, there's definitely something in that room, especially now that I know that they play Ouija board in that room. So yeah, that was that story. I'll try and think of others. I know I've lived through a lot of scary things, like paranormal. I've lived like a few of them. I just like watching like Sam and Colby, if you guys know them, most likely. But yeah, it's just scary stories. Hey, I'm back. So I just called Kels and she reminded me of stories that we lived through together and some of just her. I'll start with the one that she lived through alone. So she went through, okay, whoa, I don't know what I'm saying. She was going on a 4-wheeler ride, where she lives now, and she was going through trails, whatever, everything was normal. And then she gets to one, and there's just random, it's like deep in the bush, okay? And there's just random Halloween stuff, like fake skeleton heads on a stick. And like, I think she said spider web, I'm not too sure. Actually, something like that to my fiance happened too. It was just random spider web everywhere, like fake spider web. So I don't know what that's about, but that's just like weird to me. But yeah, and then she said the same story of like the red balloon. I guess she saw it too. I didn't know she saw it, but they were just balloons floating. It was creepy. And the second one, oh, I'm not even at the. How many stories did I say? I don't know. Anyways, this was when we were graduating high school. Yeah, we were in the like bigger town an hour away from where we live. And we were just for fun looking for dresses, knowing we would most likely not find her dresses. We didn't. But we were just looking at random little shops downtown. And then there was this person on substances, and she was just screaming at everybody that walked near her, and especially if you looked at her. And we didn't really look at her, but a little bit. I know we're not supposed to, but like it was just like in the moment, you know. And she screamed at us, and then whatever, we walked away. By the time we almost got home, or we got home, I don't remember, one of our parents were like, oh my god, did you hear the stabbing? We're like, what? And on this like street where we were, the same girl stabbed someone because they were like looking at her or just walking past her. So that's scary. We could have been stabbed or something. So that's really you know. Next story is both of us again. We were in her childhood hometown cemetery because we both have family there. We were just like visiting them and just walking around looking at like different gravestones and all that. And then it wasn't windy that day at all, like none. And we were just hear like little bells ringing, but none of the graves had bells. I don't remember any of them having a bell. So it's like, I don't know what that was, but I remember it was me and her. We both heard it, and then my grandma and her aunt. So it's like, I don't know, it's like a little creepy. We're still not sure what that's about. I forgot about that story, but she reminded me. So I just thought of another story. This isn't like Halloween, like paranormal, nothing. It's just like scary, as in like danger scary. So we were in high school. Our high school year was weird. It was like we had like COVID in our high school years, but also we had our grade 9 and 10, 11? No, grade 10 and 9 in this one school, and then they built a different school, and then that's where we did. Grade 11 was like online, and then grade 12, well, me and Kels was like online and in school because like we just did online classes. But anyway, so this time was either in grade 9 or 10, and this was in the school that was upstairs was the French kids, we're French, and then downstairs was the English kids. And downstairs is where the cafeteria was. We shared it, and the gym and all that. And it was like dinner time. So we were just walking around the school like we would always do. And randomly we just heard people like screaming. And we kept walking, like, we were just like, oh, the kids are just being dumb, whatever. Yeah, the kids are just being dumb, whatever. And then we went back upstairs, and then our teacher's like, what are you doing? Get in the class right now, da, da, da. So we got in the class, and we're like, what's going on? Like, oh, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, downstairs there's a kid with a knife, and then throwing, chairs at people and just going like having like a panic attack type of like episode thing. So we're like, oh, we were downstairs walking and no one told us anything, and there was some people that were also walking around. So that didn't really make any sense to me or Kels, because like we could have been hurt by a chair or a knife or whatever the guy had, and there was other people just walking with us or like around us as well. So it's like they didn't really do a good job with that. So that's all that Kels and I could think about. If we remember more stories, we can probably just write them down on one of their posts on YouTube, or write some more in our Halloween posts that we'll probably do. I don't know what we're gonna do for this or yet, because we were supposed to see each other today and take a bunch of stuff. But anyways, it might just be a normal picture or just us separately knit together. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But yeah, thank you for watching and happy Halloween. And we'll see you guys next Wednesday. Bye!